perfect night to dress up like hipsters and make fun of all it.
Okay.
So, what do I know about Taylor Swift? Well, she used to be a pop country singer, I think. But then she kind of moved all the way to just straight up pop. Maybe she and Darius Rucker worked out some kind of trade agreement. I know the song Shake It Off. I mean, I kind of know it. Barely. I barely know it. Okay, I remember that there was such a song. And I even know that the album it's on is called 1989, which always reminds me of 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins. And I found out that if you type 1979 into Google, it auto-completes to 1979 Taylor Swift, which means two things. One, I'm not the only person that made this connection. And two, Taylor Swift is way popular. Oh, and there was some other never, ever, ever kind of song, but I don't know what it's called or where it lives. I don't know if she's still a fan, but I do know that my niece Elizabeth was big on Taylor Swift not so long ago. Maybe she still is. And what else? Let's see. Wasn't she in some commercials? Target, maybe? I think it was Target. Do I have that right? Oh, yeah, and there was that award show thing. Grammys, maybe? Or VMAs? One of them. Anyway, the one where Taylor Swift won some kind of award and then Kanye West interrupted her speech to say someone else should have won. Do I have that right? And I suspect that by now, many of you watching this are doing so with jaws open in disbelief, wondering how on earth someone could live on this planet for so long and know so little about Taylor Swift. Look, I'm not joking when I say I don't watch network or cable TV, just some streaming services, and I have for about 15 years now. I don't listen to commercial radio. I don't read music magazines anymore, well, except for Relics and Guitar Player. And these days, I get my music primarily through deep research into the jazz, blues, and roots music that have inspired much of the folks I've come to admire and respect. So mainly older stuff. It's rare indeed for new music to find its way to me, especially pop music. I just don't live there. Which, of course, is one of the things that I'm trying to do with this channel. These are the things I'm trying to correct, right? I'm trying to expand my mind. I'm trying to make myself find the goodness, find the artistic in things that I would have otherwise dismissed. So maybe I haven't heard Taylor Swift's to any significant degree before now. But I'm about to listen. I mean, I don't hold to the theory that if something is popular, it must be good. There are too many counterexamples in history. But hey, I might just like it. Let's see what we get.
Getting into my thoughts on the album, I think my dad and I have kind of reached a consensus about our personal feelings about it. I was growing up in the age where Taylor Swift was really blowing up and really popular. However, I was always the kid who kind of rejected pop stars. I was the kind of kid that was like, ew, Justin Bieber, gross. Like, why would I listen to that? He's awful. And grew up listening to the weird shit my dad would put me on. So listening to this album was kind of a weird experience for me because it was like diving into something I never really got to do in my childhood. It's one of those albums for me that it's like I've never sat down and listened to it, but I somehow know every song. So, 22, I Knew You Were Trouble, all of them, all of the hits, big ones are on that album that I thought were pretty funny. I mean, all of the songs to me sound pretty much the same.
It's I mean, an hour and a half? Did she have to? Okay. I am sincerely struggling to try and find a way to approach discussing what I just heard. Okay, deep breath. Let me tackle the fun kind of music theory composition thing first. Maybe that'll get me started. Here's what seems to be Taylor Swift's go-to move for putting a song together. Her rules for songwriting. Number 1, once you pick a key, don't you dare include even a single note anywhere in the song that's not in that key. There will be no dominance, no subdominance. There will be no chord substitutions or modulations. When you write out the sheet music for all the parts on a Taylor Swift song, at no point is an accidental permitted anywhere except the key signature. Number 2, base your song on a 4-chord loop. It can be a 1-6-4-5 or a 1-4-5-6 or even a 1-5-4-6, but always a 4-chord loop. Make all possible efforts to maintain this loop through the chorus and the bridge and the solos and everything else. And re-reference rule number 1 if you ever get tempted to throw in a 7 or a major third at any point. Number 3, when you're in the key of E, voice your 1, 4, and 5 chords while maintaining open B and E strings. If you're in the key of F, F sharp, or G, place capo on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd fret, and again, voice your 1, 4, and 5 chords with open B and E strings. So, something like this. Look, not even once is there a non-diatonic note on this entire album. So in other words, if you transpose these songs all to the key of C, you could play this entire album and never leave the white keys. But honestly, that's the easy part. That's the technical and superficial part. I still haven't found a way to get to a point where I can talk about what I am hearing in the heart of this music. Honestly, even after a week of listening, I still might not be able to. Okay, back to it. Let me try this again.
Like a perfect night for breakfast at midnight.
I mean, all of her songs pretty much use the same kind of 4-chord progression and heavy strumming guitar, and like it just sounds the same. Everything, even the hits, were pretty mid for me. So maybe I would have said something better and had some more insight into it if I had been a big Taylor Swift fan as a little kid, but unfortunately that's not the case for me.
Okay. I think I might have a way to describe what I'm hearing and to explain why I'm having such a hard time. But you're gonna have to bear with me. Nobody freak out, okay? I promise I mean no harm or insult. Here we go. Let's start by looking at another kind of music altogether. Like, say, music made specifically for kids. Maybe like The Wiggles or Lori Berkner. And let's say I were to climb onto YouTube and post something like, "The lack of sophistication I'm hearing in Fruit Salad makes it difficult for me to engage with this music on an artistic level." That would be clearly ridiculous, right? Look, both The Wiggles and Lori Berkner, perfectly fine, perfectly good musicians making music for kids and not for misanthropic jazz snobs with more loquacity than is strictly required. And that's where I'm at with Taylor Swift. Are you comparing Taylor Swift to The Wiggles? No, I'm trying to make a point. Look, there's not a thing wrong with the music on Red. It's well made, it's well executed music whose emotional content, by necessity, means that I'm nowhere near its target audience. For younger women and for tweens, this music must feel completely mature and aspirational. It must be such a heady experience to be able to project yourself into the life and the environment intimated by these songs. I mean, I think I might understand why my niece gravitated to her music. But even all of that is complete conjecture on my part. The truth is, Taylor Swift's music goes right past me. As much as I try and find some purchase to hook myself into these songs, the absolute best I can do is a theory analysis. It doesn't move me emotionally. It doesn't stir any sense of negativity either, though. No, for me, it's completely inert. But it's not for me. Never was. I'm okay with that.
I hope that should suffice, Dad. This is a weird setup. Okay. A+.
Strangers are. We're happy, free, confused, and lonely at the time.